Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
ACLU Bullies threaten another school in New Jersey while Liberty Counsel offers to defend it. I'm Matt Barber, Vice President of Liberty Counsel Action and Associate Dean with Liberty University School of Law. In again today for Matt Staver, and joining me in studio is Shawn Akers, Dean of Liberty's Helms School of Government and Policy Analyst with Liberty Counsel. Shawn, in Neptune, New Jersey, Liberty Counsel has sent a letter offering pro bono representation to Neptune High School after it became known that Neptune High School High was threatened by the ACLU with, quote, legal recourse for continuing the 70-year-old tradition of having its graduation ceremonies at the great auditorium of the Ocean Grove Camp Meeting Association. Now, here's the problem from the ACLU's perspective. This is a Methodist organization, and the ACLU has demanded that the school either cover up all religiously affiliated signs and symbols or move the graduation to another venue entirely. Shawn, yet another example of how the ACLU bullies threatening, quote, this general threat of legal recourse, whatever that means, against this school district for doing something that is perfectly within its constitutional rights to do. The ACLU, again, as we talked about yesterday, spreading misinformation, disinformation, and using threatening and bullying tactics in order to achieve their goal to secularize the greatest Christian nation. And the historical record is unequivocal on that fact that our founders were primarily Christian men who founded a nation on the principles of the Judeo-Christian tradition. The ACLU hates that, seeks to recreate an America in its own secular socialist self-image. Liberty Counsel is again offering to step in here and defend another school district against the ACLU bullies. Well, I'm hoping that Neptune High will take us up on our offer.
You know, Matt, this is a great case to show just how rabid the ACLU really is. We're not talking about anything to do with the ceremony itself. We're talking about a 70-year tradition. Neptune High School has for 70 years used a particular space. That's all we're talking about, is making a space available to them that's been made available to them for 70 years. Now, what the ACLU has done here is not come in and said, you're having a religious service, or we're really upset about the speaker, or we don't like the content, or we don't want you holding a prayer service. None of those things are at issue. They are literally saying that because you are going into a building that even contains religious imagery, that is a violation of the separation of church and state. Now, as you've pointed out a million times on this program, that is nowhere found. The term separation of church and state is nowhere found in the Constitution of the United States. It was a single letter taken largely out of context that Jefferson wrote to the Danbury Baptist. But what I want you to see here, what our listeners really need to see here, Matt, is what the ACLU is really telling you. Now, actions are speech. And what they're telling you is that one of the worst vices in all of human existence, one that you can't even come in contact with without being tainted, is Christianity. If you so much as get a glimpse out of the corner of your eye of a cross on a wall, you have somehow tainted the entire ceremony and made it something that's unacceptable in American society. Now, this, Matt, is staggering. The founders would roll over in their grave, and I'll tell you who they would say is conducting tyranny here. Not those that are trying to have a simple service like they have for 70 years. It would be those who are making this outlandish claim that somehow it's patently offensive and unconstitutional to even step inside the threshold of a church.
It's reminiscent of, I think it was at Georgetown University, when they covered up a number of the religious symbols there before
That's right.
President Obama came to speak, I guess so that nobody would be offended. Of course, instead, millions of Americans across the country were offended. Here the ACLU wants to do the same thing, compel, through threatening legal recourse, this school to do the same thing. This is starting to look more like Joseph Stalin's Russia than George Washington's America, with the ACLU at the helm here and trying to control the debate. And that's not surprising, as we've talked about a number of times. Roger Baldwin, the founder of the American Civil Liberties Union, famously said, quote, "Communism is the goal." I've written an article with that title, ACLU, Communism is the Goal. They have not strayed far from their founders' roots, and of course central to communism is the need to do away with any reference to religion, particularly Christianity. The ACLU remains a communist organization and is not afraid to use communist tactics in order to force their will upon those with whom they disagree.
Matt, this is a form of secular Sharia, if I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly what this is. This is a way of imposing from a
secular Sharia.
Secular
like
Sharia. That's exactly what this is, and that means that we've got a religion that mandates the destruction of all other religions. And when you look at it, what we've got is a religion of secular humanism that says that we are God, that man is God, and we're not going to tolerate any opposition to that religion in any state-funded event. And we're going to use the Establishment Clause and the Free Exercise Clause of the First Amendment to crush any opposition to our chosen religion. I'm telling you, Matt, it is a form of secular Sharia.
Well, folks, become educated. Don't let the ACLU bully you, your school districts, and where you live, the faculty, staff, into capitulating to their unconstitutional will. Liberty Counsel has published a legal memo regarding hosting public school graduations in churches and on religious facilities. Again, there is no reason for public school districts to stop using religious locations. It is constitutional so long as the use does not violate the Establishment Clause by failing any prong of the three-part test established in Lemon v. Kurtzman. The prongs are to determine if the use is one for a legitimate secular school purpose, if the use, which a graduation would be, if the use would be neutral to a reasonable observer, knowledgeable of all the facts, and also if the use does not grant authority that belongs to the school district to a religious entity. None of those elements are here in this case, Shawn, and so the ACLU is way out of line.
Well, way out of line is one of those places that the ACLU is used to being. That's the place that they tread more often than anywhere else, and they've done so largely, Matt, through a lack of education on the parts of school districts and parents and on sheer intimidation. I mean, if you think about it, what we hear when we hear ACLU is not, oh, that we violated the Constitution. It's that, oh, we're going to get sued. And that's the leverage here. But here's the thing, is one of the other lessons that we all learn from school is the quickest way to deal with a bully who takes your milk money every day is to stand up to him once, because he usually goes after softer targets after that. He doesn't want to face somebody that's actually going to stand up to him. And that's why it's so important to take Liberty Counsel up on its offer, go to the website, lc.org, and take part in the education. It's all there. The briefs there. The memos are there. All the information that you need to find out precisely where you stand as a free member of a free society with your child in public school is there on Liberty Counsel's website, Matt.
Well, this all started at Neptune High last year. Following last year's graduation ceremony, the ACLU threatened legal action then against the school district, claiming that somebody who had attended the graduation ceremony was offended by the Christian symbols that are posted around this historic site. But guess what? The Constitution doesn't guarantee a right not to be offended. It does, however, guarantee the right to freedom of religious expression, and certainly in this case, the Establishment Clause is not violated, as there is clearly a secular purpose here, that this is not a Christian function, a Christian gathering. They're using a facility with Christian symbols and a Christian facility for a secular purpose. This is the textbook instance of a case that, and the ACLU knows this. Make no mistake, folks. They know exactly what they're doing. They know they're out of line here. And if it weren't for groups like Liberty Counsel, they would get away with this. But we are here to educate the public. We are here to push back in the courtroom against the ACLU. It's no small wonder that we have a 92% win record against the ACLU. It's because they are a frivolous organization. We will continue to stand up against the ACLU as they continue to trample on your freedoms.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.